Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we're going to get into the recent correction we had. Pretty big dump, massive liquidations across the board. The entire market just had a big hit. What does that mean? Well, for the last several weeks, we've been talking about the mighty potential for an ABC. So we had an A, we come up for B, and now we're working our way down for C. And the total three, the altcoin market, we perfectly hit the bull market support band. So I've been talking about for a while now, we need to come down. We don't need to, but we really would like to. We want to come down to test the bull market support band. So I look at this as a good thing. Liquidations are always a good thing. When you have a big dump that's fast and furious that gets us down to the bull market support band, that's exactly what we want to see. Um, Anytime you have a big dump, uh, it's usually followed by a bounce and then one more hit to the low. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it at the moment. This again, we've been talking about this for a while now, and we finally have gotten what we wanted. The question now becomes, is it finished? Right? Is it finished? We have an A, B, C. So is C finished? Well, before I answer that, let's look at Bitcoin. The problem with Bitcoin is we have not yet tested the bull market support band, right? I would have loved to have seen everything come down and touch it at once, but Bitcoin is still about 15% away from the bull market support band, right? So what we've been discussing with Bitcoin, right? I mean, if there's anything that needs to test the bull market support band, it's Bitcoin. That's the number one thing that does need to test the bull market support band because, right, going back to over here, we didn't test it in this correction, right? When we had this flat, we came up, we made a top, and we chop, we broke the top. This was an expanded flat. And basically, that was our moment to test it, but we never did. Instead, we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 5 waves up, which means you need 3 waves down. So we have 1, 2, and now we're getting 3. The question is 3 gonna is 3 gonna come all the way down and test the bull market support band? It looks like that would be the case. I think maybe we bounce first and then come back down. The other option would be that we're in reaccumulation, rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, and now we're going sideways, right, before breaking out. That would kind of make sense because the alts already hit their bull market support band, but Bitcoin has not, right? But in all reality, we kind of want it to be an A, B, C, and that's been the main thinking. So, but the question is, if that happens, then what happens to the altcoins? What happens to the altcoins if that occurs, right? Because they're already at the bull market support band. Well, if that happens, then we would probably come all the way down to back test the breakout area of that range. Or this, we came up, we had a correction, or we had resistance, we had a correction, we broke out, and now we have an A, B, we come all the way down for C, we back test, and then we continue marching on higher. So it would appear like that is the case. Why? Because we have 1, 2, 3, probably in wave 4, and then we get 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that would finish up wave C. We build a base, we get an impulse, and then we start moving higher, right? So if Bitcoin comes all the way down to break support, right, which is right at this 60K area, right? That's the 60K area. If we break that, then we're probably coming down to like 54, 55K. So I was hoping it would take more time. The reason why is because the bull market support band is rising, right? So by the time it gets there, it might be, only 57K, right? If it happens next week, then we have a straight shot down big time. So that's kind of the thinking. So I probably would anticipate maybe a week of consolidation. Now, that's the hard part. I have no idea if it's going to be a week. Timing is always very challenging, but it's not necessarily the route or the destination. It's the timing is hard. So there's timing, there's the route it takes, and then there's the destination. The destination has always been the bull market support band. The route has always been an ABC. There was, possibility of an A, B, C, D, E, a triangle, but that never played out. There was also we come up and take the high out, but I didn't think so because this total 3 did as well. So we ruled all that stuff out. So all we have now is A, B, C, right? So we are at a critical moment. If we come down another 15%, how does the altcoins fare, right? Because if, they got knocked down way harder, right? They got crushed. You could see Bitcoin, I think, was down 15% of the high. I mean, this one went down all the way 25%, right? So it could be looked at as a good thing or even a bad thing. But I kind of look at it as a good thing because we already got most of the selling out of the way. So I would suspect we're very close to a bottom in total 3. So, what I'm looking for is for Bitcoin to get back down to the bull market support band, and then also for this wave to finish up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get divergence between the 4th and the 5th. You sweep the lows, right? You don't want to spend too much time down here. You sweep the lows and then you continue higher. That's kind of how we want it to happen. That's really how we want it to happen. But the problem is we're getting closer to summer. Sell in May, go away type of thing. So, and then also if you look at April 13th, like you go back and look at April 13th, it's marked the top the last time, right? Or at least a local top. So I'm not going to do that now, but I mean, just for example, where's April at here? Right here. So this was April. It's on the weekly chart. You can't see it, but it was about April 12th, April 13th, where it topped. Or maybe it's on the Bitcoin. Well, probably on both. But the point is, we really want to see support get held right here. Right? That's the ultimate thing. We cannot lose that box. Right? If we do, then we're going to come all the way back down to here, which is basically, right, here's your range in here. We break out of the range. We come all the way down in a big A, B, C. We back test the range. And then we go higher. That could totally happen. But again, I don't like to do that far out. I like to cross that bridge when we get there. But just letting you know that could totally happen. Which basically is like, you're flagging out. And that's exactly what happened over here. Right? We came up and we had a big flag, right? Rise, crash, retrace. We go into reaccumulation. The question I have is, are we going into reaccumulation? Right? That's been the main idea. But since Bitcoin broke the all-time high, I said, yeah, it's probably less likely. But the alts still haven't gotten near there. So we have a rise, crash, retrace. Maybe we go into reaccumulation. We go sideways, and then we break out. right? So a lot of situations, looking at theta. Again, talked about theta backtesting the bull market support band. We did it perfectly, right? So now it's looking really, really bullish for a 1-2-1-2, but the problem again, we have Bitcoin. If Bitcoin decides to go down to the bull market support band, like theta already did its job. It has a 1-2-1-2. It's at the bull market support band. But Bitcoin didn't show up to the freaking party, and it's still way away. It's still, far away from it. So if that occurs, then we probably have one more low, which would be back testing the range. And that is the ultimate thing, right? When you zoom, let me take everything off the screen. And when you look at theta, right, looking at this range here, that was our inverse head and shoulders, right? Remember that? We talked about the shoulder, the head, and the shoulder. And then the measured move was exceeded. So, that was a take profit area. And then, you have your resistance, right? You break out. We can come all the way back down to back test the top of the range. And that would be at $1.27, $1.30. So we could still fall to $1.30. Always know that. Now, I would have never said that if Bitcoin hit the bull market support band, I wouldn't even be talking about that. But since it's far away, right? Since Bitcoin still hasn't tested it, right? I mean, look where the bull market support band is. We're still, if the altcoins fell with that, much of a move down with Bitcoin, we still have this much of a move down, right? It's still a lot more to go, which means if that's the case, then you would expect, right, things like theta to go down even further. But there's always a chance where, yeah, they did, Bitcoin's still not there yet, but the altcoins could potentially, bleed less as the correction continues on. Why? Because they already got crushed. That doesn't mean they can't get crushed even more. But anyways, that's kind of where we're at here. So, we perfectly did what was needed. We tested the bull market support band. The question now becomes, when Bitcoin does it, if Bitcoin does it, which is likely that it will happen, then the alt will go down even further. But if that's the case, right, then, look at it as an opportunity. Dollar cost averaging. So we have a 1-2-1-2, right? If we go down even further, then it's definitely a 1-2-1-2, right? And then that would set us up for a big, big, big wave to the upside. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. I'm still expecting higher prices. Probably won't. It might take all summer. That's the thing. It's a seasonality thing, right? Because we pumped in spring. Now we're going into summer. It might not be till we get to October, November where we get this breakout here. I don't, it's hard to say. It's still very early. There's still unanswered questions. That's why I didn't want to put a video out too quickly, right? I mean, for example, look at XRP. It broke below its range, but look, it's getting bought back up. The weekly candle is going to end in about 7 hours. So will we close above the range, right? Is it just a wick? So, the thing about XRP is, right, we have this trend line, right? And we also have this resistance line. And we wicked below it, right? Let me show you a screenshot. So this is what happened to XRP, right? We came up here, we lost the low, right? But then look at, this is what is happening now with XRP, right? So, yeah, basically suggesting, this is a liquidity grab before a big pump to the upside. I mean, that's exactly what happened the last time, right? So we have this rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, and then we go into this channel, and then we break the channel, and then we go. So same thing here, right? We have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. We've created a channel. We're breaking the channel. We come down, we grab the liquidity, then we go. So is that what's happening? It appears like that's what that's what's going to happen. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But that'll do it for this update. I just wanted to get a quick video out and show you guys what I'm thinking here. Now for XRP, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's probably an A. This whole thing is 1, 2, 3. This is B, A, B, and now we're coming down for C, A, B, C, right? Probably 39, 37 cent area would be the idea. It would probably be around that 37 cents, A, B, C, and then continue higher, right? So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Now, if we recover quickly, right, because this just happened yesterday, if next week we start pumping like crazy, I mean, we really need to get back above 63 cents. If we can get back above that, then, obviously it was just a liquidity grab. So, but at least we can rule out that this is not a triangle, right? So A, B, C, D, E, right? And I know a blockchain backer said, we're not going to break this low, but I came out and I said, no, I wouldn't say that yet. I mean, there's a possibility, but I'm not going to say that. And I'm glad I didn't say that, because obviously look what happened. Now, I didn't know it was going to happen that fast, that vicious. But the reason why I was hesitant on saying that is because Bitcoin has not yet tested the bull market support band. That's basically what it's about, right? So, which means if it did come down and test it, then for sure XRP would probably lose that low. I mean, there's a possibility we can flag out in here, right? I was expecting probably, flagging out in here during that process, but again, the alts got taken by surprise for sure. But when you zoom out, it really wasn't too much of a surprise, because looking at total 3, it did exactly what we thought it would do, right? I mean, look at that. We wicked off of it, and let's see how high we are now off that wick. So we're about almost 14%, right? We came all the way down to the bull market support band. We perfectly nailed it, and now we're above it, 14%. So that's got to count for something, right? But again, Bitcoin is not there yet. So that's the problem. So just to recap real quick, Theta, here's the thing with Theta. We hit the bull market support band. This is exactly what we've been talking about, right? Go to the smaller time frame here. This is perfect. This is beautiful. We had an A, B, C, perfect, right? If we lose it, then look for $1.40. Look for $1.40, right? So you take this whole wave, cut it in half, probably $1.60 to $1.40. If Bitcoin goes down to the bull market support band, right, which is a good chance we could. If we lose that, then we're probably gonna backtest $1.30 area, basically this inverse head and shoulders, right? So we have a shoulder, we have a head, we have a shoulder, resistance, resistance. We break out, we come down, we make prior resistance, new support, then we go. That would create a big 1, 2, 1, 2. XRP, and just wait until you hear about Theta Fuel. Theta Fuel is very interesting. Theta Fuel is was surprisingly not too much affected by it. XRP, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have an A. We come up for B, probably working our way down for C into that 39, maybe 40 cent area. Between 37 and 43, I would say. I mean, we already hit 43, so let's see. We really want to stay above 35. We really, really want to stay above 35. So I'm thinking 37 cents for XRP. Contingent on Bitcoin going down to the bull market support band, you're looking at a 37-cent XRP, which would finish this ABC. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. This is wave 1. This is wave 2. What comes next? The biggest wave of all, wave 3, which would completely explode us to the stratosphere, right? So we have a 1, 2, and now we get that big monster third wave. So that's my belief. That's what I think. That doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. This is not financial advice. The reason I say that is because, right, we have rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. We went sideways in this channel. We broke the channel, right? But look at this. Same thing, right? We have a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation. We went into this channel, we broke the channel, and then bam, we went to the moon. So the question is that what's happening now? Well, if Bitcoin can hurry the heck up and get down to the bull market support band, hold it and test it as support, I was really hoping that the whole market can do it simultaneously, right? But that's not the case. So yeah, but I'm still looking at this as 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5. No matter what, we have 5, right? And now we need A. We come up for B, and now we get C. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. And again, that is what happened last time, right? So that's what I'm thinking for XRP. Theta, I already did that. Bitcoin. We have obviously, an ABC, right? Simple enough. If we hold support, let's zoom in here. If we hold support, then that would probably mean Bitcoin doesn't, or the altcoins won't have to go down anymore. I mean, right now we have 1, 2, all of this is 3. We're getting 4, probably one more low. The question is it going to be an extended 5th? I don't know. So, it might drag out for a while. We have 5 down. There's a lot now. There's more possibilities because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could come up for an ABC, right? And it just delays it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and come up for another ABC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then until we get down here. I don't know if that's the case, but it would create some type of falling wedge, I guess you could say, or some type of channel here. But I'm not sure about that. But I just wanted to point that idea out. It could get complex, but let's just keep it simple. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. If we hold this low, then I'm looking for a bounce or a retracement. Then we'll have to figure out from there. So it is yet to be seen for that. But the long story short here is an ABC. And again, that's what we've been saying. So it shouldn't be too much of a surprise for us here. Dogecoin hit the bull market support band. The total market cap still has not yet tested it. The total market cap. Let's see. Where is Theta Fuel at? Now look at Theta Fuel. It didn't break the low either. Theta broke the low massively. XRP broke the low massively. But look at Theta Fuel. It did not break the low. I've been saying Theta Fuel looks very bullish. In my previous video, what did I say? I captioned it. I said, Theta Fuel is looking quite interesting. And that's really why, right? We have a flat here. We have an A, right? We come up, massive trap B, and then it would appear like a running flat, but it's probably just a regular flat. So A, B, and now we come all the way down to C. I don't know if we quite tested it yet, the bull market support band, but maybe one more low, right? So we have, let's see right here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's finish up, get 5, get to the bull market support band. That would be a beautiful buying the dip opportunity, not financial advice. But yeah, hopefully people had subscribed. And if you can, it would be amazing if you can hit that like button. I mean, I think this video does deserve a like after been, again, talking. I mean, just look at Ethereum. Been talking about it for since really back over here. That would probably need to test it. So we had an A, B, C. Ethereum already tested it, right? So if Ethereum goes below it, we really want it to quickly recover. Otherwise, it can just prolong the correction. It can just get really, really long and probably last all summer, right? So, but if it did, then I would look for October, November, December to be very bullish. So, we still have some things we got to deal with. But other than that, I think, this is to be expected. Again, I didn't think it would happen this viciously. But to me, it's better it happens quickly, right? I mean, looking at XLM, we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it would appear like it would need a 1, 2, 3, which would mean it would be just a big correction, right? Before more downside. But if this can turn into 5, right, on the way up, and we can get another breakout, that would be nice to see. But other than that, let's see if we can figure out anything else. I mean, for the most part, a lot of the coins are coming down to backtest their range. So they break out and they're backtesting their breakout range. Like H bar, right? You have a range here. You break out, you backtest it. Now, you want to hold above it. You don't want to go too far below. Link is still way up there. It could still come all the way down. Right, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, we can get B, and then C, and then continue higher. So we could be flagging out in here for a while, just kind of how the rest of the market did. I mean, we can see we came down, we had a retracement, a shallow one, and then we flag out for like 6 months, I think that was. Let's see, how long was that? From June, no, that was more like almost a year. Yeah, that was a year of flagging out. I don't think it would take that long. I mean, remember, we still have the halving, right? We still have that. A lot of times the market dumps prior to the halving, but then the month after the halving, a lot of times you get some bullish price action. So we'll see how that goes. But as far as Ethereum, we just don't want to break below this range right here. We really want to stay above $2,100. So as long as we can do that, I think we're still in good shape. I was going to do a rapid fire this week. I just couldn't get there. I couldn't do it. Um, but I will definitely get that this coming week. And it's kind of a good thing I didn't do it, right? Because, we had this big dump. So a lot of things probably would have changed the structure. I haven't looked at a lot of charts. I mean, Casper took out the low here, took out this low. But it appears a lot of them have that three-wave shape, right? A, B, C. So that's kind of what you wanted, A, B, C. You wanted that three-wave move. Even gold didn't really take a hit, but it's starting to a little bit. Algorand took a hit, right? I mean, all of them did, really. So let's see. Pepe. Oh man, I saw someone. They had $1 million of profit, I think. And it's like, why wouldn't you just take the profit? And he got liquidated. Everything is gone. So he wants to kill himself now. So if that's just very painful situation. You have nothing, and you play with some leverage, and you surprisingly get it to $1 million, and then boom, it's all gone. It's like, wow. But at the end of the day, you never had that million to begin with because you never took profit. So it's all unrealized gains, right? It's unrealized. So if you don't have enough margin in your trade, then you have to have, right? If you have $10,000 in a trading account, you can't trade that $10,000. You can only trade a portion of it because the rest is there for margin, which, if you have 10,000 and you're trading 5,000, you're really trading 10,000 because the rest of that 5,000 will still get liquidated, even though it's not in a trade, because it's a margin, which is a lot of things people don't know, right? But anyway, we have, it appears to be a 1-2. And this looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we get 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Or I'm sorry, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all of this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I don't even want to talk about it. It's really pointless because it's still wanting to wait. The big issue is the stock market. If the stock market loses the bull market support band, it can get very ugly very quickly. So look at that. Look where the stock market hit. I mean, you can see it wicked right to the bull market support band. So we really want to hold above that. But it is election year, so the deep state's got to look terrible, right? So to me, it would be like they would, the stock market would take a big dump, right? I don't know, who knows, but the whole Israel thing and the bombs and all that, that's just the deep state wanting to go to war. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with people of Israel, people of Iran. It's these deep state tyrannical fearmongers, these entities that are, the military industrial complex. They want to expand war. They need war, right? Why? To further their agenda, but also to distract away from all of their corruption and their crimes, right? If the whole world, so for example, if the stock market crashes, they can blame it on the war, right? Oh, see, it was the war, that's why it crashed. But no, the war is just an excuse they put as the reason why the system collapsed, because the financial system could collapse, right? I've been talking about that for a while. But if the system collapses, right, then they need to blame it on to somebody. Who are they going to blame it on? right? Joe Biden ain't going to take the blame, right? The Democrats, the Republicans aren't going to take the blame. So the deep state is to blame, but at the end of the day, it's really the central banks are the ones who are to blame. The politicians are just the puppets. Central banks are the ones to blame, right? But if we have a financial collapse, they're going to look at the Federal Reserve, they're going to look at the banks, and they're going to say, "Look what you did." But if we have a war, then they can say, "Oh, look, it was the war that did it," right? So, um, it's like two little kids in a candy shop, two brothers. You have a big brother and an older brother. The older brother steals a piece of candy, but he puts it in his little brother's pocket. That way, if he gets caught, it wasn't him, it was his little brother, right? That's exactly what's happening, just on a different scale. So, uh, the deep state, the central banks, they are the reason why the system is falling apart. They are also the reason why they are also, in my opinion, doing something with this agenda, right? And I you got to be careful what you say, but um, on social media, right? And then people ask, well, how come you don't have a lot of followers on Twitter, on X? Because under Elon Musk, I've lost 3 Twitter accounts in the last 5 years. So I've had a lot of followers on X, and then boom, sorry, your account is suspended. I message them why. They don't give you a reason, and I can't get a new one, right? So I have to start a whole new one, and then it's just like ridiculous. And this was all under so, 2 of them. I mean, the last 2 was under Elon, but I don't know. I just think it hasn't changed at all, as far as I'm concerned. So, if this is an A and this comes up for a B, this is a trap. So we have a flat. We have an A, we come up for B, and now we're coming all the way down for a flat, an expanded flat. Or it can even be a running flat, right? Then Trump will come out and say, "Look, the stock market is crashing. I told you the Democrats would do this." When in reality, he's right. I mean, he's totally right. But at the end of the day, it's the deep state and the central banks. So we're gonna find out just how this story unfolds soon enough. But Bitcoin dominance took out the high, right? So to me, it looks like a 1-2. Um, it looks like a 3, a 4, and now this to me looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're getting up for that 5th wave. So it looks like it should be ending pretty soon. Um, so we'll see about that. There is a chance we can get back into this box here at 61%. So that between 60 and 62% is sort of the target if we were to continue this uptrend. So again, it all lies with Bitcoin. What happens with Bitcoin is the issue. I mean, we have this consolidation, sideways. We can't do anything. Boom, we get knocked down. So we're probably coming down here. It might not happen straight away, but it's probably what's going to happen. So, and then again, what that means for the altcoins is probably, another low. But look at the dollar. That's the other problem, is we have the dollar. We have a bullish engulfing dollar here. So I'm hoping this is just a retracement. Let's zoom into the daily. So what I'm hoping is this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have an A, B, C correction before more downside. So A, B, C. If this turns into a third and we start breaking out, then it's going to be pretty bad for the time being. So, when you look at ETH BTC, it's still, it's taken out this low. But it tells me we're probably getting close. I mean, we have a 1, 2. All of this is 3. This is 4. And now we're getting 5. So hopefully soon we start to turn around here. I mean, look at SHIB. SHIB came all the way down and almost tested it. And it still looks it still looks very bullish. It still looks very bullish. I mean, we have a 1, 2. We have a 1, 2. We have this big fat engulfing candle. And then we have this super bullish correction. Right? We have this A, B, C. I mean, it's beautiful. And we're right on the bull market support band. So, there is some hope. There is optimism there. I mean, it can turn ugly, but it looks like a beautiful correction. Right? So my question is this just a big fake out to the downside? There's bombs going off. Everybody's dying. We're at war. It's World War III. I don't think World War III is going to happen, by the way. I think they want it to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. A lot of people, they're fear mongers, right? Like, I know there's one guy on YouTube. I won't say his channel, but he basically saying World War III is coming. He's been saying that for, maybe it does come. Maybe he's totally right, but I don't think it's coming. I think they want it to happen, but I don't think, I think the good guys won't allow it to happen. And yes, there are good guys. I think the new administration that's coming, this coming election it's not going to allow to happen, right? So that's what I think. I could be wrong, but I don't think we're going to war. I think this is just pushing fear mongers. I mean, they want a war, right? So they're sending off these drones, but Israel's like, we're not afraid of no drones. We are a nuclear powered country. This is just, like little fireworks for all we're concerned, right? It's nothing. It's just provoking. They're trying to provoke. They want, right? They want Israel to hit them back. They want to retaliate, right? The whole point of it is they want the other side to make a move so that they can say, see, we're in a war, right? If one side hits and then the other side hits back, then you can say, see, we're in a war now. That's what we wanted. But I think Israel's too smart for that. I'm not picking sides, but I think at the end of the day, it's not about Israel. It's not about Iran. It's about the deep state, right? So, again, maybe this is just a big fake out, right? We're at war. The bombs are dropping. The markets are dumping. Crypto's dumping. It's a bloodbath. Fear, 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 right? But amongst all the fear is what? Right? It's lies and deception. So that could be what's happening, is just a big fat, fake out to the downside, get everybody scared, everybody capitulates before ultimately turning around. Now, I do think we probably have another low. We have another low, right? Because it happens so quick, everybody's like, okay, it's over. But if we have one more low, then people are really, really going to panic, right? Because then it's going to feel like it's not going to stop. So it probably comes up, makes one more low. And then once it breaks this low, then everybody really panics and we can get a cascading event, a pretty big sell-off. But I think at that point it would finish. I mean, hopefully it's finished now, but always be cautious of another low. And the reason also I say that is because when you look at Bitcoin, right? Let me put Bitcoin on. We still haven't gotten down here. So if we work our way down here, that's kind of the reality of the situation. So let's see if that's the case. For me, the best thing you can possibly do, not financial advice, is just to hodl. Don't worry about it. If we have to correct for all summer, that's just the way it is. It is what it is. You can't control the market. I can't control it. Nobody can control it. We are basically along for the ride. We are investors of crypto. We believe in the technology. We believe in the progression and the advancement of blockchain technology. We believe that it will reward us big time in the future. But I mean, look at Amazon. Amazon had a big fat wave to the upside, right? Just like THETA and XRP. It had a big fat wave, right? But then it took from here to here, right? It took 10 years before Amazon broke out into a new all-time high. But now look where Amazon is at. It was one of the best stocks to invest in ever. But people labeled it an S coin like they do with crypto, an S company, right? Because it didn't break out. It came up and then it kind of drizzled along and then it finally broke out 10 years later. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen with THETA, but you have to be aware. You got to be a smart, disciplined investor and understand the risk, but also understand the opportunity, and don't consume yourself with it, right? Or it's going to drive you crazy. You know, just like Warren Buffett says, the stock market is a device that transfers wealth from the impatient to the patient. So you just, in times like these, you got to be very patient. You got to, look for opportunity. And for me, I mean, Theta had a 55% drop. That is, that's a big opportunity for dollar cost averaging, right? Now, it can go lower, yes, but buying the dip is kind of what the whole thing about it is, right? I mean, this is opportunity for new money to come into the market. And then it also allowed for a 1-2-1-2. And then if we come all the way down to $1.40 and back test, the breakout range, right? Then that's so be it. But I think we're getting close to a continuation to the upside. So we'll just have to wait and see how this plays out. For XRP, I think, when you look at it, again, it's exactly what happened the last time. We had this liquidity grab, and it was a big fake out. So, it liquidates everybody. Everybody's bullish. I'm going to leverage. They get liquidated, and then it starts. But by then, those people have no money. But the people who were patient, the people who waited, they got the opportunity. So, and that's just the unfortunate truth that people will endure, a lesson well learned, deemed never to be repeated. So that's where we stand. And with that, I mean, I would just wait, right? We have 1, 2, probably 3. Maybe we flag out for 4, and then we get another one, something like that. We get to that's really what we want, is for Bitcoin to, at this point, we've gone so far in all of these liquidations and this correction. At this point, let's just get it over with and finally complete what we've been saying for the last several weeks now, which is an ABC. Find support in here, and then we can continue higher. But remember, if that happens, we probably might have one more low with the alts. If Bitcoin comes all the way down and the alts don't make another low, that is going to be a very bullish signal for the alts, right? But either way, I think it will be bullish. I just think we really want to see how the price reacts off of this bull market support band. Now, if Bitcoin loses the bull market support band, then we're in deep trouble. Because then at that point, and I'll just talk about that quickly, I don't think that'll happen. It could totally happen. This could be a total an a B, right? But a flat, right? We broke out. So here's an A. We come up for B. We break the top. And then we come all the way back down for C into a running flat, which would be the original rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, right? Rise, crash, retrace. We come down for reaccumulation. We go sideways. We broke out. But look, we continued higher, so we rule it out. But it can still be a flat. We can still come all the way down. So I would say this. If Bitcoin loses the bull market support band, then it was, after all, a rise, crash. All of this was just a retracement that broke the top. We come all the way back down into reaccumulation. We go sideways, and then we continue higher, which would be a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder, right? Maybe it's not that big. Maybe it's smaller, whatever the case may be. But if this occurred, the alt would definitely get crushed. So again, it's kind of a wait and see moment. I don't want to talk about that until we cross that bridge. We're still above the bull market support band. We haven't tested it, and I really want to see it get tested and hold. If we lose it, then it better be just a wick. If we have a weekly candle close below it, a couple of them, it could be meaning that we go into reaccumulation for the next 6 months to a year. So that'll do it for this video. If you guys would be amazing if you can hit that like button and click subscribe if you haven't already. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think we still have more correcting to do? Do you think Bitcoin's going to get down to the bull market support band? Do you think alts will then lose their bull market support band? Do you think this is a good buying opportunity? What do you think about what's going on over in the Middle East over there? Do you think it'll get worse? I'd love to know what you guys think about everything. And what coins are you buying during this bloodbath? And also, if there's any coins you want me to take a look at, you can drop them in the comment section, and I might add them. I say might because I haven't done it. I'm kind of a week behind on that. So I'll definitely need to get that video out. But at the end of the day, this is what we've been talking about. We've been talking about something like this occurring. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have A, B, C. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We probably get A, B, C, right? We get down here. I mean, look how big this one was. It could be the same length, right? It could be the same type of thing where we come down, come back up, come back down, go sideways, and then continue higher. It could get bigger, but on the face of it, we'll keep it simple until it's not simple anymore. But for now, that's what I'm waiting for. We'll see what happens. I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.